Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to the video. This is fish log number 53. And spring is one of my favorite times of the year to have a fish room. I'm not sure how my fish know it because they're in a basement, but it seems every spring, pretty much every fish I own seems to be wanting to have a bunch of babies, including this lovely pair of crebensis. Now I first spotted this as I was feeding and I wanted to capture some footage of it just in case they ushered them in that cave back there. But I didn't have to worry. They left them out, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, and it's a nice, lovely clutch of fry. And these parents are doing an awesome job, though I don't think I've ever had a pair of carbensis that did a bad job. They seem to be one of those fish that just seems to fall into it quite nicely, and they don't terrorize the entire tank and kill everything off. And like I said, they just have a nice little clutch here, which is actually one of the other things I like about them as a fish to breed. They don't have too many fry. I mean, you don't end up with thousands or hundreds of them. You end up with a nice number of them, which is easier to deal with. I can move these out into aquariums for my clients and such, and I don't have to worry about being overrun with them like with convex cichlids or a lot of the other South American ones. So anyway, while this is paused, I want to thank everybody for their contributions to naming my fish room mascot. Now, I did say I was going to choose one and have that reveal in this video here. But I decided instead, because there was a number of ones that I liked, and a number of the reasons for doing it were also in the comments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post another notice, and I'm going to give you, well, probably 3 or 4 options, the ones I like the most. And if you want, you can read through the comments that generated them, or just pick the one that you like, and I will go with whichever you guys choose. So thank you very much for that. That was actually really nice to see, and I will obviously keep her, which seems to be the consensus in the fisher, for quite some time to come. So there you go, nice little batch of crebensis, and there is a lot more footage of other fry coming up. It's not going to be an all fry episode, but there was a fair amount of it going on. One of them I really want to show you, which is coming up next, is just kind of a surprise at how quickly they grow. It was less than a week ago that I recorded this last, and the last time I showed you this, I actually had to put a little black arrow indicating where they were so that you could see them. I don't think you're going to have any trouble now picking out the goldfish fry here. I mean, they're getting humongous, actually getting to the point now where I'm getting a little concerned for how the rainbow fish fry are going to do. So I suspect they're going to be coming out quite shortly, and they're going to go into the aquarium where the older rainbow fish fry are, and that way there won't be any problem. Just in case you're not certain, I'll stick up a couple arrows here, and you can see they're all the same hatch. They all were from the same spawn, unlike the rainbow fish, which are pretty much a spawn range from probably about a week to a week and a half apart. So there are some that you'll see that are really quite tiny, and others that are considerably larger. The goldfish are all hatched at roughly the same time. I mean, all eggs don't necessarily hatch immediately at the same minute or two, or even in the same day, but they're really quite close together. And as you can see, there is a bit of range in size there, but they're just humongous compared to the rainbow fish. I'm going to switch over now to the other bin. This is the newly hatched ones, and you can see here how much smaller they are. And it's actually kind of interesting how quickly they are growing relative to their siblings, but they're obviously nowhere near the same as the goldfish. And I'm going to go over to the last bin here, which is just going to have the Java moss with the new eggs in. I don't think there are any visible, because I usually pull out all the fry I spot every morning and put them in here so they can eat. And I don't think I missed any, but it is possible, because I don't really spend too much time, because I put infusoria in there as well. So these are the older of the Boismani rainbows, and as you see, they're getting quite large, but they are still relatively dwarfed by those goldfish fry, but they should be more than fine together for the next little while. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pan over to an aquarium to the right of this. This is where the larger rainbow fish fry are going to go now. I've cleaned this all out, and it's all set, and it's pretty much ready now for them. Now, I've also made a lot of changes with the plants up here. I've thinned them out drastically, and I divided this one up, what I'm calling a prayer plant, and I am reducing to a great extent the amount of soil I'm using. This arrowleaf plant and the other one, I have not put any soil in at all, and I'm probably going to take the soil out of that pothos, not because I'm having issues with these and how they're growing. I'm doing it because I'm getting way too much growth of the plants in the aquariums, and it's just getting to the point where it's ridiculous. I don't want to spend all my time cleaning out these tanks and trying to prevent them all from turning into black water. This moss is doing really well, and the next stage for the test of this is to try and remove as much of that soil as possible and just grow it on the rock. So this is what it looked like without the lid on it. It's nice and thick, it's doing really well, and there's actually I think another species of moss in there as well. It's just a little shorter, and I'm going to pull this all out and try and get off as much of the soil as possible, and then just put it straight onto a bed of gravel. So here it is. I went up and put it in a sink and rinsed it lots and got as much of everything out of there as possible. Obviously I matted down the moss quite a bit in the process, but I want to see how it's going to grow that way now, and that'll be in the next vlog. These are my gardener Achilles, the ones that I just let breed as they will, and as you can see they have quite a will. I still have not separated that one male out. I don't really have any tanks set up for the moment for it, but I haven't really noticed any aggression between them. So there he is there. And as you can see, he's coloring up now. He's nowhere near as colorful as Dad, but he's still really, really young. And there's an awful lot of range and sizes in there as well, which is kind of nice. I did manage to get a few more clippings of some plants. I'm not sure what they're called, but I was always told it's called Wandering Jew. And it is a nice color variant. As you can see, there's a nice little... I'm terrible with colors. Some bluish color. Maybe one of you guys can tell me what it is, but it's a nice streak in those leaves, and actually looking forward to seeing how that grows. Now this is the Java Moss bog filter, and I'm actually going to be changing how this is going to work. That's another reason why I haven't altered and done anything with the bigger bog filter. Java Moss is just too good at outcompeting all the other plants, and everything I put in there seems to just succumb. The tank itself is fine, but I just don't want a pure Java Moss bog filter. I want something else in there. I want something more along this line. So I am going to probably rework that and try out something else, which is another reason why I tend to try and test something out for an extended period of time, because I mean, this has been running now for well over 6 months, and that is my minimum criteria for whether or not I like how something works. If it's just working for a short period of time, it's not good enough. It needs to work long term before I will use it more regularly. So I'm going to not do anything about this filter here for a little while, and I'm going to do a little bit more work on that bog filter and see if I can improve its ability to not outcompete everything and just work properly, and I can have other plants in it as well. So thank you very much for watching. Leave lots of comments, and I'll get that post up soon. And thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and bye for now.